All right, let's see what y'all are up to this weekend. Welcome, first and foremost, to session 5, the art of turning a complimentary coaching call into a sale. And this is really, like I said uh, before, this is the heart of everything we've been teaching this week, right? You get all the way to that point where you've invited somebody to an ideal client avatar survey. You do the survey, you get juicy info. At the end of the survey, you invite them to the complimentary coaching call. You schedule that call before you get off the phone. Then the complimentary coaching call is coming up, and you're wondering, how do I turn this person into a client? I'm not even sure how I turn this person into a client. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What else do I want to say? I'm going to just check the chat here. Hey, Marie, thanks for joining us. Rashka, happy Friday. Sheila, you're redecorating. I love it. Tabitha, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was wondering what room she's redecorating for as well. Yeah, we just finally settled into our house that we built, and we're taking our redecorating little by little. You wouldn't be able to tell from my office, but our style of decor is I think I would call it like rustic, contemporary, modern. So we just bought I know this is really wild, maybe sounding for some of you, but we just bought our first live moss painting, and we're very excited for that to come. It's not a painting, but it's like it's framed, but it's live moss. I like to feel like I'm in nature, but I'm also into modern. So, anyways, rabbit hole. Marie catching up and dog sitting. Those are two fun things to do at the same time. Love it. Rashka is going to be reviewing the 3 meeting replays and attempting to come up with a 30-day plan. Yes, Rashka. And if you haven't already, maybe you have. I should have counted before I came on this call. So many people booking discovery calls, which is exciting. Book your discovery call and we can talk through that 30-day plan with you. That's a great topic for a discovery call. Patrick, dog sitting, love it. A lot of dog sitting this weekend, some catching up and seeing if you can set up a handful of ICA surveys. I love it. I love it. Hey, Natalie, what's going on? All right, let's jump in here. And hello to all the beautiful faces that I see. All right. And then let's see. Too many. Ever have too many things on your screen? Let's jump right in here. So first and foremost, take out this bad boy, wave it around if you're old school like me and you printed the workbook. Yes, if you printed the workbook. If you didn't, pull it up on your screen. If you don't have it, put into the chat workbook. I need a workbook, and the girls will give you a workbook. And let's jump right in. The art of turning complimentary coaching calls into paying clients. So, what I want to talk about today, you're going to learn the 5 places to find your perfect prospects. And we did already kind of cover that, the 5 key places to find your prospects. So we did cover that piece of it. But we're going to talk about 4 different ways that those warm leads will help you find clients. Let's see what else. What page is it? It's going to be on page. We did 8 yesterday. By the way, if you need the replay for yesterday's call, put in the chat replay. I need a replay. Yesterday's call was interesting because yesterday we interviewed a coach who's out there killing the game. She's killing the game. Former client of mine, 10K plus consistent months, and she's just doing amazing out there. She's truly built a sustainable coaching business. So if you want to see that interview, lots of you asked some great questions. Please, by all means, put replay and we'll make sure you get the replay. So Art of Turning Complimentary Coaching Calls into Paying Clients is page 9 of your workbook. Turn to page 9 of your workbook and we'll jump right in. My name is Betty Kempa. For those of you who haven't heard me say it enough times, business coach for coaches, IPEC grad, member of the Forbes Coaches Council, ranked one of the top coaches in Denver and then again in Tampa by Influence Digest, and the founder of the corporate six-figure really a tongue twister this evening. The founder of the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy, where we help corporate renegades ditch the 9-to-5 and repackage their genius into a 6-figure coaching business. All right, so let's let's get into it. Now, speaking of 30 days, I like that topic. One of you, I think it was Rashka, shared you're going to do a 30-day plan. Put into the comments, what is the number one coaching business goal that you would like to complete in the next 30 days? Just curious. Think about it. Doesn't have to be perfect. What's the first thing that comes up for you? Stick it into the comments. What's the number one coaching business goal you'd like to complete within the next 30 days? Put that into the comments. Set that intention. Again, another great thing to discuss during the discovery call. Okay. Tonight, we're going to cover art of turning complimentary coaching call into paying clients. Want to remind you all before we get ready here, weekend is off. So don't come this weekend and wonder, where is everybody? You can come to the Facebook group or you can DM me. I'll be back and forth. I'll be back and forth between the pool and the Facebook group and into my DMs. So feel free to reach out to me. But our final two sessions, so make sure you mark this into your calendar. We're coming back on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please do show up for that one because it's for you guys. It tends to be a longer session because all it is me answering Q&As. So every question that's been asked so far, I just sit here and answer questions. I bring people off mute. Whatever questions you have for me, if they're customized to your specific niche, if you need help with the niche, any questions you've posted in the Facebook group, that's what I do on Monday, 7 p.m. Even if you don't have a question, I recommend you come because you'll learn more from other people's questions sometimes than you would have otherwise, right? That's the best way to learn from other people's questions. Our final day will be Tuesday. This upcoming Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The 5 mistakes coaches make that keep them from hitting their 6-figure coaching business goal. That one's going to be a really nice wrap up. Speaking of 30-day goals, to really talk you through at a kind of 30,000-foot view, what those 5 major mistakes I see are. And they're almost parts of a funnel. And if you fall flat on any one of those 5 pieces, it's going to be a rough ride. So do make sure you show up for that final session. And then Tuesday will be our last night. Tuesday will be our last night. So Tuesday at midnight, you have until Tuesday at midnight to book your discovery call and join the academy to be in the running for the boot camp bonus bundle. That will be the last chance to do that. So do make sure that you show up on Tuesday night. Real quick here, for those of you who haven't seen this one yet. There we go. Do as I say, not as I do, with 20 million things on my screen. Bootcamp bonus bundles. So who is this for? This is for people that book their discovery call by Tuesday and end up joining the academy. Bonus number 1, 1,000 off monthly installments or 3,000 off paid in full. Bonus 2, the first 5 people. So be cognizant of booking that call. Don't wait till the last second, because when this one runs out, that's when people feel a little bit bummed out, right? If you're going to do it, you might as well be one of the first 5. 60-minute deep dive strategy session with me. So I'm going to do a complete strategy session with you. It'll be comprehensive. It'll be customized. I'm going to be having you fill out a form first so I can get in touch with where you are in your business, even if you're just starting, and walk you through where you need to focus first to hit your first financial milestone. Valued at $1,500, you'll have a private 60-minute deep dive strategy session with our social selling expert. I've given you guys this speech before. 2024, man, if you haven't figured out by the end of this year what social selling is versus just plain outreach, it's going to be a rough road in terms of getting clients. Social selling is one of the top 2 things you can do to get a client that is a cold client that you've never talked to before. It's not a referral, right? This is one of the top 2 things you can do. So you've got to learn how to social sell. In this session, it's a private session between you and our social selling expert. And she's actually going to customize your outreach to your niche. She's not going to just hand you a script. She's going to help you customize it to your niche. That's a very big deal, valued at $600. We are then going to do an audit on your social media profile. Why does that matter? Well, you could message all the people in the world. You could post on social media. You could do all these things. What's the first thing people do when you do that? They click on your profile. And if your profile is wah wah, right, you've got 7 seconds to get their attention with your profile. If they're unclear of who you help, if it doesn't look credible, if it doesn't look professional, whatever it is, they're gone. You've lost them. So very important that we get your profile audited. 30-day Voxer access to moi. I never want anyone coming into this program and feeling lost or where am I, right? So you can have a coach in your pocket. You can walkie-talkie me anytime. Hopefully not at midnight. You walkie-talkie me at midnight. I'll get back to you tomorrow. But you know the drill. You can ask any and all questions and receive feedback and direction on your business. And then I think almost most fun of all, you'll be coming to our half-a-day virtual cash injection workshop for a fast ROI. So I go through with you all of the cash injection actions you can take for the fastest ROI. And that's actually scheduled pretty shortly after y'all will be joining here. So up to $8,600 worth of bonuses coming your way. And if you have any questions on any of that, that is the purpose of booking a discovery call. That's the purpose of booking a discovery call so that you can learn more about any of these bonuses, anything to do with the program, all of this good stuff. Now, as a reminder with the discovery calls, okay, it's a 3-part agenda. I do want to be clear on what these discovery calls are all about. Everything we do is value for you. Everything we do in this workshop is meant to be of value. So the discovery call will be a 3-part agenda. Part 1 is going to be the value. That's when you bring to us some kind of a problem you're dealing with, or, hey, I need help with my niche or whatever's going on. I want to walk through my business plan. I want to walk through this, whatever you need help with. Part 1 is going to be the value, right? So we're going to give you some value and discuss your problem with you. You're also going to receive the folder of resources. So every time I talk about a script or a tool or a resource, you're going to get that folder of resources for attending your discovery call after you book it. So that's part 1 is value. Part 2 of the discovery call is challenges and goals. So this is where we hear your problems. We're going to ask you questions about your challenges. Why are we doing that? So we can identify a gap, the gap between what you tried so far and where you are. Then we want to ask you questions around your goals, right? What are you trying to achieve? Okay. Part 3 of the discovery call is solution. That's when, after we've asked you questions around your challenges, we've asked you questions around your goals, we then are going to talk you through, listen, this is what we've identified as the gap between you and your goals. And we're going to share different program options if we think you're a fit. And I will be totally transparent here that it is an application-based process. Not everybody is necessarily a fit for this program. We'll be very transparent with you. But either way, we'll walk you through, if you're not a fit for this program, perhaps we'll send you some referrals. And then we have added on different program options in addition to the Academy. So we'll walk you through what are the different program options, what are the different pricings, and based on what you've shared with us, which option do we recommend for you, right? And then that's as well the time where you can ask us any questions, etc. All right. So remember, again, that's the thing you want to book by Tuesday. All right, let's get into it tonight. I will say this. Heather Copey and I were just discussing this, and Tabitha before I went live. I am announcing for tonight's gift drawing, my favorite gift drawing, which is the Full Focus Planner. And one of these days, let me tell you, I gotta represent them or something, because I talk them up like no other. They're gonna just start hearing my name and be like, "Who is this girl always talking about us?" I love the Full Focus Planner. I send it to all my clients. I'm gonna send it to the winner of tonight's drawing. What I love about it is one, it comes with a free set of training videos. Two, the full focus planner is a holistic look at your entire life, not just planning for the business that's a part of your life, but how to fit that in with everything else you've got going on. I have a full focus planner. All my clients, I send a full focus planner. One of you are about to have a full focus planner, but you have to stay on live when I announce that tonight. And speaking of announcing that tonight, Tabitha, will you send me a private message on Zoom, the last name of our winner for tonight? Because I know the first, but I need the last. If you could send me a little love note. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So I'm going to just start. I'm literally starting at the top of page 9. So get your pens ready. Get your typing fingers ready. I'm not going to do any more, let's fluff around. I'm getting right into it. Okay. So let's start right up here at the top. How do you get a complimentary coaching call? How do you get a complimentary coaching call? Where do they grow from? Right? Where do they come from? How do you get a complimentary coaching call? Anyone want to take a guess and drop it in? Thank you, Tabitha. Anyone want to take a guess and drop it into the notes? Where do you get a complimentary coaching call? We've talked about it throughout the week. And there are numerous places. What are one of the places that you can recall? Where might we find? Remember when I made that sales funnel and we talked about the different ways you can get a complimentary coaching call? Anybody want to take a gander? Yes, Inner Circle. And yes, ICA surveys. Look at you guys. Yes, Jade. Yes, Marie. Yes, Patrick. And yes, Jade. You guys got it. Yeah, write that down. Write that down. So it's either going to come from your inner circle and you're asking for introductions, or maybe one of them are like, yes, I'm your ICA. And remember that inner circle tracker is in the folder of goodies that we give you when you book a discovery call. Or it's going to come from an ICA survey. You're doing the survey at the end. Hey, thank you so much. As a thank you, I want to offer this complimentary coaching call on ABC topic that you just told me was a pain point. Let's get it scheduled. So correct. Let's move on to the next question. What calls may come before the complimentary coaching call? What kind of calls may come before the complimentary coaching call? And I'm not going to torture you guys by asking you this again, because it's very similar to what I just asked. So we already talked about an ICA survey call when it comes to the sales funnel, right? Will likely come right before the complimentary coaching call. So write that down, ICA survey. But I'm going to give you a second kind of call that I haven't talked about much yet. Okay. So I want you to write at the top of page 9 what calls may come before the complimentary coaching call. Write down ICA survey call. But there's another type of call I haven't really talked about yet. And I do want you to record this. And it's called a connect call. It's called a connect call. Now, some of you may hear of a connect call as being something like a virtual coffee chat, or, hey, I met so-and-so for coffee, or, that. And side note, it's just a personal thing. I don't know why. There's something about a virtual coffee chat to me. Maybe it's I don't know. It could be just a me thing. Certain things just you're like, ugh. For me, I don't like the name of a virtual coffee chat because it makes me feel like, oh, I got nothing better to do. This is coffee, by the way. Let's just sip our coffee and get our nails done. And, when you're super busy, it just kind of, you're like, virtual coffee chat. Like, what are we doing during this? I'm always wondering, like, are you here to sell me? Am I supposed to sell you? What are we doing are we collaborators? Are we referral partners? What is a virtual coffee chat? Anyways, rabbit hole. A connect call. So here's what I'm going to say: a connect call. A connect call can be a virtual coffee chat. I just don't like to call it that. A connect call is meant to be just to get to know you. A get to know you call. So, if you're talking to someone and you end up going to coffee, or somebody you haven't seen in a while, you're like, oh, let's do a Zoom together. Let's do a Zoom coffee chat. Let's connect on Zoom. It's not meant to be really rigid. I'm doing a discovery call, I'm doing a whatever kind of a call, and there's certain, it's meant to be very fluid. It's meant to just, let me get to know you again. Let's reconnect. So a connect call, usually about 15, 20 minutes long. Also, not necessarily an ICA survey call where you're asking certain market research questions. It's one of those really flexible calls, right? Where you're just like, hey, let's set up time to reconnect, right? And it's through that connect call, maybe you're asking, hey, what have you been up to? And they're sharing maybe some things they're struggling with. And from there you can say, you know, they ask what you've been up to. I'm doing this type of coaching. I'd love to offer you a complimentary coaching call on XYZ thing you just shared. So I'm just giving you guys permission, and I'm empowering you that the sales funnel doesn't have to be so rigid. Sometimes it's through a very fluid, authentic conversation that you're hearing, you're listening, you're asking questions. We're not coaching without getting permission to coach, but we're just conversing. And then from there, you notice they share a problem, and hey, I'd love to offer you a complimentary coaching call. We can dig deeper into that. And I know for some of you, I've had some people say, oh, Betty, it's frustrating because I get all these people that always come to me with their problems. And now that's kind of my job. I coach people on their problems, but people aren't understanding I don't do it for free anymore. Anybody have that issue where you're the person that everybody comes to with their problems? Yes, I knew it, Marie, Natalie. Yeah. And some of you that aren't on screen, yeah, right? That's why we're coaches. It's not like being a dentist, is it? Where all of a sudden you're doing it for free and then you're like, okay, here's your invoice. It's different. So that it's a great opportunity. People coming to you with their problems, Patrick, always. Yeah, Sheila, thumbs up. So that's a great opportunity. Say they come to you, make it a 15-minute chat or something. Say, you know what? This is deep. This is a lot deeper than we can get into in 15 minutes. I'm actually a coach now. I coach on XYZ. And if they don't even know what a coach is, give them the definition of a coach and say, let me do you a solid. I'm going to set up a complimentary coaching call with you. Let's do it. It'll be great. This issue you have, set aside a full hour. All right. So anyways, connect calls. Now, at the end of the connect call or at the end of the ICA survey call, I'm just going to keep pounding this into your head, right? Hey, as a thank you, you're going to offer that complimentary coaching call at the end of the ICA survey. As a thank you, you're going to offer that complimentary coaching call at the end of the ICA survey. Okay. One last thing I will say about Connect Call, I just thought of this too. A Connect Call, another way you can treat a Connect Call is essentially doing research for content marketing. So if you're ever in that place of like, oh yeah, I know I need to post on social media, but I'm not quite sure what to post about, that's another great reason to do a Connect Call and to tell somebody, listen, I value your opinion. And you're asking someone that you think is your ICA. I value your opinion. I'd love, for 15 minutes to kind of ask you about some of the challenges. And it's similar to an ICA survey a little bit, right? But instead, we're taking this content and perhaps using it for ideas for social media marketing. Very important, right? When we do that offer for a complimentary coaching call, it's not generic. We're hearing a couple pain points they just said and said, you know what? You just said one of your struggles is you and your significant other want to have a healthy divorce. You've got kids. You don't want this to turn ugly. And you're worried about how to broach your partner on that. I'm actually a divorce coach. I'm happy to give you a complimentary coaching call on that topic that you just mentioned to me. We can talk about the first step. So when you're offering the complimentary coaching call, it should be something word for word that they just told you they were dealing with. And if they said something that's so big, then what you can say is let's coach on the first step, the first piece of that. right? Let's move on our workbook, page 9, page 9. And if you have any questions as I'm tearing through this information, please put your questions into the chat and make sure we get those answered. Page 9, we're talking about what to email a prospect prior to your complimentary coaching call. This is a little secret I'm going to share with you. This is something that I like to say. I don't know if I like to say it, but it's the truth. If you're waiting to do all the heavy lifting, you wait to do that for a sales call. You wait to do the heavy lifting for the pitch or for the sales call. If you're waiting to do the heavy lifting until that part of it, the end of the funnel, you're doing it wrong. So the heavy lifting meaning educating them on who you are, what you stand for, any pieces of credibility. Once you have your signature method, and it's okay if you don't yet, right? So you want to give them as much education as you can prior to the call. It's the more info we can give them about us and our coaching style prior to the call, the better. You really don't want someone coming into a sales call, where they're like, who are you? What do you do? Right? That's not going to be a fruitful sales call. So what do you email a prospect prior to the complimentary coaching call? And remember, on the complimentary coaching call, the agenda should look like this: 60-minute call. First 45 minutes, we're coaching them on their problem. And the last 15 minutes, we're talking about the next steps. The next steps, depending on how that call went, because it's up to you, might be y'all working together in a longer form package, right? So what do I email you prior to a complimentary coaching call? This is almost the bottom of page 9. It's right here. Okay. Number one, email a confirmation of the appointment date and time. If you have a scheduler, Acuity, Calendly, great. If you don't, just email them a reminder. Confirmation of appointment date and time, and ask them to plug it into their calendar. So write that down as far as number 1. What do I email a prospect prior to my complimentary coaching call? Number two, what do I email a prospect prior to a complimentary coaching call? Request. Now, this is optional, okay? You could email somebody a request for one specific topic for that complimentary coaching call. And you could give them reminders of some of the pain points they shared during the ICA survey. So here's what I'm trying to say. During that ICA survey, if you didn't nail down with them what the pain point was going to be that you're going to focus on your complimentary coaching call, then in that prep email, I would say, hey, please reply to this email with one specific topic you would like me to coach you on. And probably in italics or underneath that request, I would say, here were some of the things you brought up during our ICA survey. This, or this. Now, I'm only saying that's optional is if you're the kind of person that likes to wrap your head around things and prepare. Not that coaching is always preparable, right? It's not always that way. Coaching, we're asking questions. We don't know where it's going to go sometimes. But if you're that kind of person that kind of takes your stress level from a here to a here, knowing what the topic is, you can ask, so it's optional. Number three, which I do think is important, is to set the call agenda. And actually, when I think about it, you might even want, with the 60-minute call, 20 minutes for I don't know if I want to call it the pitch, but 20 minutes for, talking them through next steps, which would be working with you. So 40 minutes coaching the mini problem and 20 minutes running through next steps. So literally, you guys, if you can imagine this, and Heather posted it in the chat, if you can imagine this email I'm sending people ahead of time, the email is saying, hey, thank you so much for, booking a complimentary coaching call. I can't wait to get started with you. As a reminder, your appointment date and time is this. You know, if you'd like to, please respond to this email with one specific topic you'd like to cover during the coaching call. As a reminder, here are some of the topics you shared during your ICH surveys. Pain point, pain point, pain point. The call agenda is going to be 40 minutes coaching said problem and 20 minutes talking through the next steps. So the problem we're about to coach is just the beginning. So the 20 minutes at the end of the call, we'll talk through the next steps. And number 4, this is something for y'all to think about, would be your chance to share the definition of coaching and the benefits of coaching. Now, this is for the person that doesn't know what coaching is. So you may want to ask once they accept the complimentary coaching call, hey, have you ever worked with a coach before? Are you familiar with coaching? If they don't know what coaching is, it will probably behoove you to find a really great article on coaching and to stick that. It doesn't even have to be written by you. But to find it at some point, if you were my client, I'd probably have you write that article at some point. But for now, doesn't need to be written by you. Find a great article that defines coaching. There's actually a couple great YouTube videos that are great video visuals of coaching. I don't know if y'all have ever seen them before. Gosh, this was an old article I wrote on the definition of coaching. It might have been when I was career coaching. But if anyone wants to see that article, drop article into the chat and I'll get that to the workshop concierge. And you guys can see an example of an article that I wrote about coaching that I used to send to people ahead of time. So they were locked in. There was no like, but I thought you were going to give me all the answers, but that's a consultant, right? Now, to be clear, I now consider myself a coach-sultant. Feel free to steal that. I'm sure I heard it somewhere. Because on the spectrum of coach to consultant, when you're dealing with business, there's a lot of consultant work, right? I'm sharing with you what works. Yeah, Sheila and Marie, I'll give Tabitha and Heather the article to share with you guys. And here's the reason why I'm thinking about this article. I plugged in 2 videos into those articles that I'm talking about from YouTube. I stuck them in that article and they're really powerful videos. So they're not my videos, they're YouTube videos that I found that I was like, oh, it was so moving talking about coaching. I think one was from a TED Talk. One might have been, I can't remember the other one. Anyways, my point is, you can plug some really powerful, you could take those, they're YouTube videos. You can take those from YouTube, just source them, you know, I mean, it'll say on the video where it's sourced from. And include that as you're telling your client or not your client, but your prospect, this is what coaching is. So that's number 4, the definition of coaching and benefits. Give them a link to an article and maybe a link to a video. So yeah, Heather and Tabitha, if you guys could write down the names of these peeps and I'll give y'all the articles to give to them. All right. Let us turn to page 10. Now we're really getting into it. Okay, here's the meat and potatoes. Buckle up. Turn to page 10. Page 10. Okay, we're going to get into the actual complimentary coaching call. Turn to page 10. Just making sure that I have not... Actually, no, I'm lying. Let's stay on page 9. I want to cover the complimentary coaching call agenda, the 4 topics. Yeah, we are, Natalie. I was just making sure you're paying attention. Natalie, you get the golden star. Yeah, stay on page 9 for a hot minute. Complimentary coaching call agenda. All right, so let's talk now about the agenda. Okay, let's talk about the agenda. Number one, write this down, bottom of page 9, complimentary coaching call agenda, bottom of page 9, is the intro. The intro includes, yeah, sorry about that, Natalie. I was like, page 9, page 10, turn it around. Intro. Number 1 is the intro. Who you are and what is this? Hey, write that down, The complimentary coaching call agenda. Number 1 is the intro. Who you are and what this is. So who you are, you're going to be telling them, just like I do, I'm trying to walk the talk, you're going to have your little paragraph of your elevator pitch in the beginning there, right? Share your coaching title, share your niche statement. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And if you're struggling with it, book a discovery call. That will be the piece of value we can go over with you. And definitely come to Monday's Q&A. So share your coaching title, share your niche statement. Optional, you can share any kind of what I call credibility bits. Credibility bits. So if you're certified, talk about your certification. If some of the work you're doing as a coach, you've done during your corporate job, right? So for example, I always talk about part of what I do as a business coach. I do a lot of copy. I do a lot of marketing. I do a lot of, launching. And these are things that I did from a copy perspective for a decade in the corporate world, in the Fortune 500s. So I'm not saying you have to coach on a niche you did in your corporate job. I'm just saying if there was a place in your life, if there was a place on your resume where you're like, I kind of did that, that I'm a leadership coach now, and I've been a leader for this many years, and I've trained leaders for this many years, I would mention that. Okay. So if you've done it in your job, I would mention that. If you've won any awards, I would mention that too. Part of the Academy Mod 4 client attraction system, we do a lesson on PR, which I don't know why I find to be very fun, PR. And I always like to make sure that my clients get some awards, and there are many ways to do this that are much easier than you would think. And you don't have to pay for them either. Some of them, yes, but I wouldn't pay for an award. So my point is, who are you? Coaching title, niche statement, and credibility bits. Okay, that's the who are you. And then there is the what is this? Where am I? What's going on? You'd be shocked at the amount of people that are like, what's this call? You're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a rough hour. So tell them what it is. Remind them what we're on a coaching call. Refer to the link you sent them prior to the call. Did you have a chance to watch that video? Did you have a chance to read the article on what coaching is? And, I would, at that point, remind them the definition of coaching, right? Hey, put simply, coaching is a process that aims to improve performance and focuses on the here and now rather than on the distant past. We're focusing on the here and now, and we're building steps for you to hit goals. We're looking ahead. I'm just giving you an example. Remind them, we're on a coaching call. This is what coaching is. All right. So that's part one of the agenda. Intro. Who are you? What is this? Okay. Questions, drop them in the chat. Number 2 of the complimentary coaching call agenda. Okay. And I like to tell people the agenda too. I mean, I don't tell them this is the intro, but I'll start at number 2. So number 2 is you're going to coach. And this is where I would tell them, hey, I'm going to be coaching you on one specific mini problem. And this is, again, something you can either have them choose ahead of time, or it's something from their ICA survey. So you're going to tell them, we're going to spend 40 minutes and I'm going to be coaching you on XYZ topic, or maybe you decide on the topic on the call. It's up to you. Now, as a reminder for everybody here, you'll learn how to coach. I'm just telling you this because I don't teach coaches how to coach. I teach coaches how to make money. I teach coaches how to build a business, how to attract clients. So if you're at that point where you're like, how do I coach? That's what the certification is for. I'm not telling y'all you have to go out and be certified, but sure feels nice to be. It gives you a lot of confidence. So anyways, you're going to tell them I'm going to be for 40 minutes coaching you on said topic. All right. Side note too, if anybody wants some great books, I know I have one book on great coaching questions. Maybe I'll take a picture and drop it in the Facebook group, or I don't know. If you want the name of that book, it's probably like great coaching questions. But put that in the chat too if you want the name of that book. And once again, I'll give the name to your workshop concierge and they can send you the name. Yeah, I wish I shouldn't mention books unless I see my library shelf of books, but it's like my glasses just aren't that good. So yeah, I'll give the names to your workshop concierge and just make sure you're checking your DMs from them. So Sheila, yeah, we'll get that to you. So you're going to tell them 40 minutes we're coaching you on a problem and you're agreeing upon that problem. The last 20 minutes of the call, so it's a 60-minute call, 40 minutes I coach you. The last 20 minutes, we're going to walk through your next steps towards the larger problem. Okay? Because we're making it clear to someone, I can't solve your life problem in 40 minutes, but I can coach you on a mini pain point. Okay. So you're going to tell them for the last 20 minutes, we're going to talk about the bigger problem at large, right? So again, I'm making up this scenario. So, the divorce coach, right? And the person says, well, I want it to be an amicable divorce. And my first problem is broaching my partner on the topic. I'm worried that, it's going to become a contentious argument, whatever. And so you're coaching them on that first piece. And then you say, okay, for the last 20 minutes, we're going to talk about the next step because it's a whole process you're about to go through. And there's kids and there's the partner and there's all right. And so there's some mindset pieces. There's some, there's whatever. I'm not a divorce coach. I'm making this up. But you're basically saying, listen, last 20 minutes, we're going to talk through the next steps towards the larger problem, the bigger journey you're about to go on. Now, in your head, you know that those next steps are going to be your signature method, which we teach you in Mod 2 of the Academy, is your signature method. Your signature method is going to be 3 to 5 steps or pillars that get your clients from pain to dream. Okay. Now, if you're freaking out, like, Betty, I don't have my method yet. Again, book your discovery call. We can, maybe we can't create your method in that time with you, but we can get you started. Come to the Monday rapid fire Q&A and definitely think about joining the Academy because we have an entire module devoted to signature method. If you've got a complimentary coaching call tomorrow and you're like, I don't have a method and it's tomorrow, the call's tomorrow, then the next steps should just be the big pillars that your person told you that they are worried about. Well, I'm worried about this. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about this. And this is the goal I need to get to. Right? So if you're working with what you got and you don't have your method yet, then you're going to say, okay, today we covered this. And, in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, we're going to cover this, 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 and this. These other 4 things you're worried about. You're also going to be thinking in your brain, this is the outcome that they want. What other coaching things might I have to go through with them that they don't even know they need? And what are those usually? Anybody want to take a guess when you talk to a civilian and they talk to you about the problems that they're having and they want to have some help being coached on that problem? What's the one topic that they need the most, but they usually don't know they need it? Anyone want to take a guess on what that is? No matter what the niche, no matter what the topic, you say, what are your pain points? And they tell you it's this, it's this, it's this. What's the one thing they probably need the most in the signature method, but they don't even know that they need it yet? They don't know they need it yet until they start working with you. Anyone want to take a guess in the chat? Because I guarantee you would get it. Anyone want to take a guess in the chat? Guarantee you would get it. Give you 5 seconds here. And then y'all are going to say, mindset. Mindset, right? Usually civilians that aren't familiar with coaching, right, aren't going to be like, mindset, help me. They don't know until you're with them, reflecting the mirror and helping them through their fear, their limiting beliefs, their imposter syndrome, their assumptions, all the things really holding them back from any niche. So you're always going to want to put that in there, no matter the niche, right? Probably is pillar one. Because if this ain't right, the rest don't matter. Okay. So number two, you give them the agenda. I'm going to coach you on the problem for 40 minutes. Number three, write it down. Last 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the steps of the larger problem, right? So you're going to say, okay, next, we're going to cover this, this, and this. And then four, you're going to get their buy-in during the call to work with you. So you're going to say that. And I would also be telling them things like, listen, because this is the truth, right? Coaching isn't a one and done. So anybody that thinks, life is solved in a 60-minute session, right? It's not. So I would be telling the truth, which is coaching is a transformational journey. And again, I don't know, I have a book on my shelf somewhere about habits. A habit is made in 90 days. If a habit's made, if it takes 90 days to build a habit, think about how long it might take for transformational change. So people have to understand this isn't a one and done. This isn't a couple sessions. This isn't a pay as I go, right? It might be a 3-month. It might be a 6-month. It might be a 1 year. Okay. But I would just let them know this is a transformational journey and I'll be here with you for it. And then I'd get their buy-in, right? And feel free to give them a couple options. You could do the 6-month. You could do the 3-month. Share the pricing. How does that sound? Or I might even ask, which of these sounds like the better option? So number 4, I want you to just for now write down, get their buy-in, right? How does that sound? Write that down. How does that sound? Okay. Turn to page 10, turn to page 10. Turn to page 10. I feel like this printed out a little funky. I could be wrong. Maybe not. Turn to page 10. Now, you also want to tell the agenda at the beginning of the call. So don't leave people in the dark. When they get on a call, it's very disconcerting to not know where are we going with this call. That's why I was telling you guys the agenda of the discovery call, right? We have a 3-part process. The value, we get into your challenges and your goals, and then the solution, right? What's the gap between where you are and where you want to be, right? And if it makes sense, we talk about the package options and the pricing options. So tell your people the agenda at the beginning of the call, okay? Now let's talk about the transition, top of page 10, the transition. What do I cover in those last 20 minutes, Betty? Betty, you're leaving me with 20 minutes. What am I supposed to talk about in 20 minutes? Natalie's like, yeah, what am I supposed to talk about? Let me tell you, 9 things. Buckle up and write it down or type it out. Number one, the last 20 minutes of the call. The mini problem, you're going to tell them the mini problem that we just solved is a part of a larger problem of whatever their bigger goal was, or whatever the bigger problem is, or whatever your I help who with what, the what, so that the end of your niche statement is. So you're telling them this. That mini problem I just coached you on, that's just the beginning. Okay, we solved the beginning there. That's actually part of a larger problem. And it should be whatever that came out of their mouth that they said, this is the bigger thing I'm dealing with. This divorce could drag out over a year and I got to keep my head on straight and I got to keep my kids together and I got to keep going to work right? And you're saying, here's my hand. You know what coaching is now. I got you, right? Number two, gain buy-in. Gain buy-in, write that down, gain buy-in. So you'll say something like, as I mentioned, next I'm going to walk you through the next steps towards achieving your bigger goal. How does that sound? So when gain buy-in is we're not going to shove things down people's throats. That's not a normal way of conversing with another human, right? Like, I'm going to tell you blah, 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 right? We're going to, hey, as I mentioned at the beginning when I told you this agenda, now that we covered this mini problem, next, these last 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the next steps towards achieving your bigger goal. How does that sound? Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, and Heather, if you have this copy in the answer key, you can feel free to copy paste it in there too. And if you don't, let me know and I'll copy paste it in because I know I'm talking fast. Number 3, let them know if based on what they shared, they are a good candidate for coaching. Tell them. Let's be honest. Not everybody is. Not everybody is. It almost like clockwork. Every time we do a workshop or at least once a month, there's going to be someone that we have to say no to. I've had somebody text my phone and say, let me give you my credit card number. And sadly, I had to be ethical and say, no, right? You have to determine, are they a good candidate for coaching? So if they are, tell them that. That's good to hear. Okay. Let them know if, so hey, based on what you shared with me and the scope of what I coach on, I actually think you'd be a great candidate for coaching. And here's why. You're open-minded. You're ready to solve the problem, whatever. I'm making that up. Whatever it was that to you made them feel like a great candidate. Tell them. Because that's special, because not everyone is. Number four, write this down. Number 4, talk to them about a customized coaching package. Because if you don't have a signature method yet, it's going to be highly customized. Even if you have a method, we still customize it. But you're going to say a customized coaching package with me is going to look like this. And you're going to explain it. And y'all, this is something you can prepare for from the ICA survey, right? As long as they share with you the bigger dream, goal, or outcome, and 3 to 5 pain points, right there, you can say, listen, I heard you say on that ICA survey, bigger dream, goal, outcome was to get through this divorce amicably, so that your kids were feeling, a certain kind of way, and the spouse wasn't losing their cool. You were, well, you can't control another person, but you were showing up a certain way. You had your mindset a certain way, blah, 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 whatever. I should have picked a better topic. That I've not gone through a divorce, knock on wood. And I don't want to. But I've been through a family that's gone through divorce. So I do know a little bit about it. 50% of us have gone through families with divorces. So it is a great niche. But let them know if, hey, this is a customized coaching package with me. You said you wanted help with the kids. You said you wanted help with your own, what you were going through, the fear of going through with it. You said you wanted coaching on communicating with your spouse. And you said you wanted coaching on managing your time between dealing with a divorce, work, and running a household as a single parent. Okay. That's what a customized coaching package with me would look like. Why is that going to feel good to them? Because they told you, these are my 4 biggest problems. And then you're going to say the outcome we're working towards is going to look like this. And it's what they told you. Okay. Very important. So you're describing the customized coaching package in their words. Number five, I would recommend giving 2 coaching options. So perhaps, I'm just giving you an example, I'd tell them, okay, listen, these are the 3 to 5 pillars, or these are the 3 to 5 steps. And there's 2 different ways to work with me. You can work with me one-on-one coaching. We can work together for 6 months and really dig in deep with each topic. Or we could work together for 3 months and maybe get through 2 of these modules. Or maybe we keep it high level and dip our toe into each of these modules, however you want to explain that. So I think it's nice to give 2 options. I got a 3-month, I got a 6-month. Okay. Now whatever longer option, if it's one-on-one coaching and you have 2 durations, the longer option should be a deal. They should get a better price if they're going to pay for the longer option, right? Number six, you're going to talk to them about pricing. Number six, talk to them about pricing. Now, again, we teach you how to price in the academy early on. That's what we teach in the academy. Okay. We don't charge by when I say we, I mean you guys and coaches should not be charging by the hour. That's what I was trying to get out there. So coaches don't charge by the hour, but just between us coaches, I wouldn't go lower than $300 an hour, especially if you're certified. I wouldn't. And if that's shocking to you, please bring on the questions, because I could preach this till the cows come home. Transformational work, life-changing work. Okay. If that's shocking to you, Natalie, shocked? All right, girl. Good. Bring me the shock. Bring me the shock. Yeah, this is life-changing work. This is transformational work, right? And maybe Monday, let's get into some of the money. I have a little document I created. It's called Charge What You're Worth. Tabitha, will you make a little note and just put Natalie's name by it, just so that I can remember where I got this idea? Natalie, on Monday, I'll go through in the rapid fire Q&A, charge what you're worth. Because I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. Anybody ever hear, I won't do the rabbit hole thing. Tabitha and Heather are like, Betty, wrap it up in an hour. I'm almost there. Anybody ever hear that, I don't know what it was. It was like a little piece of literature where somebody had this massive ship and the ship wouldn't work. The ship broke down. And so they called somebody to repair the ship. And the guy shows up to repair the ship. And they tried everything. They couldn't figure it out. For hours, they were trying to figure out, how do we repair the ship? The guy showed up. I'll use my brush. He had his tool. And he came up to the ship and he turned a couple things, lug nuts, I don't know, tools. And it was fixed. Anybody ever hear that? And then the people are like, and then he said something like $10,000. Yeah, Raksha's, and I'm probably mutilating this story. He said $10,000 or $20,000. And they were like, why would I pay you that? You only took a second to figure that out. He goes, oh, were you there for the 20 years experience I had, for my certification and how to do this, for all my experience, for all of this? He goes, all of that up here that just fixed what you would have spent days doing and all that money by yourself, that's $20K. And whatever, I'm making it up. It's just a powerful reminder. Transformational change. We'll talk about it more Monday. Okay, let me check real quick. Okay, almost done here. Number 6 is pricing. Oh, and one last thing, I do want to say this, not just for Natalie, for all y'all. What we teach in the academy, it is not about, I want to be very clear. Please do not just slap on a price tag and say, I've got this package for this. What we teach is how to create a coaching package that is valued at approximately double the price. It is not cool to just say, I'm going to just slap on a price. No, it's a strategic. Pricing is strategic. We're not just like, I'd like to make this much money. It's strategic. So you got to have enough value in the package so that to the person looking at the price, the answer should be when they look at it, okay, That's an investment. It might even be more than they thought it would be, but I see the value. And that's what's key. Remember, right? Because not everybody understands what coaching is. So we'll talk about that more on Monday. It's a great topic. Let's see what else here. Number seven, optional. Optional. This will make some of you feel better. You can give a founder's rate. If you're just starting, don't worry. I'm not going to push you off the ledge and tell you to sell a 10K package. Start with the founder's rate. That's exciting to people. Hey, for the last quarter of 2024, I'm offering a founder's rate. Hey, for my first 10 clients, I'm offering a founder's rate. I'm building out a package that's eventually going to be valued at this and priced at this, but I'm offering a founder's rate of fill in the blank, whatever makes you comfortable. Get some testimonials, bring in some cash, change some lives. So you want to offer a founder's rate that's down here just to get started? Do it. I did it. Just make sure you don't get comfortable there. As your coach, right? I'm going to be like, keep going, keep going. The more your experience goes up, so does the price. The more the value goes up, so does the price. Number eight. Once you share your 2 coaching packages, 6-month and 3-month, and I'm just making those up, whatever your 2 options are, you're not going to say like, so do you want to join? Right? That's kind of awkward. I would say something like, okay, I've presented these 2 options. Which option feels best for you? Which option feels best for you? Okay. Now, if they say that option, right, I'm going to say, cool, let's get started. Let me walk you through the contract signing. Let me walk you here. Here's, let's collect payment. Let's set up your first appointment. Please, for the love of all things, if they're ready to start. Don't do this whole shooting yourself in the foot. Okay, I'll send you info. Okay, and you get smaller and smaller in your seat. No, yes, great. Let's get started. Let's do this thing. Here's the contract. Let me walk you through it. Sign it. Okay, how much? All right, let's take the invoice. All right, when are you free this week? When are you free next week? Let's get you on the calendar. Let's change your life. Let's do this. I'll be sending you an intro email. Talk to you soon. Okay. So even I'm getting excited here. Last but not least, number nine. If they want to think about it, right? I want to think about it. That's cool, right? If they want to think about it. And by the way, feel free to offer a fast acting bonus too. I love a fast, you guys know I do. I talk about it every session. Bootcamp bonus bundle. You don't need to have 5 things in a bonus bundle, but you could just have a cash fast acting bonus. If you sign within 24 hours, you get $1,000 off, or whatever. So if they want to think about it, that's fine. I know some people will say push back, oh, that's an objection. Why do they want to think about it? I'm not that coach. Think about it. I want to think about it. I mean, I might ask, can you tell me what more you want to think about? Like, is there something specific you're not sure on I could answer? A lot of the time they want to talk to their spouse. I mean, it's pretty normal. Sometimes you're a processor. So bottom line is, if they want to think about it, immediately schedule a follow-up call and the point of that follow-up call is for them to ask questions after they've had time to process. If they're a processor, sure, think about it. Let's connect over the phone, 5 minutes, same time tomorrow. Is that good for you? Great. That would be your opportunity to ask any questions that come up for you. If your spouse has any questions, once, say they want to talk to their spouse, and for you to tell me if you want to take advantage of the fast acting bonus, how you want to proceed. So I'm telling you, it's the people that send the invoice and goodbye. It's like we're busy people. Your person's going to go off and go back to work and the kids and the this and the that and vacation and okay. Example script about pricing. I'm going to put this script. Well, I'm going to say it, but I'm going to put this script once you book your discovery call, it's going to be in your folder of goodies. But here it is. So we'll put this in your folder of goodies as well. So this is just an example. This is just an example. You could say something like, all right, the coaching package is 3 times a month. It's a 6-month coaching package. Now, once I've built out all the elements of the package, it'll be valued at around $20,000. And I'm just making this up. This is an example. I'm not telling you to use this. I want you to hear how it sounds. This coaching package is a 3 times per month, 6-month coaching package. Once I've built out all the elements, it'll be valued at $20K. However, I'm going to end up pricing it about half that, $10K. Now, here's the thing. For my first 5 clients only, I'm offering a founder's rate of $6,000 for a 6-month package or $4,000 for a 3-month package. If you sign up today or within 24 hours, you will get the fast acting bonus of $1,000 off. So that will drop the price down even further. So you'll get the founder's rate and you'll get fast acting bonus, $1,000 off. So that'll be $5K for a 6-month or $3K for a 3-month package. Which coaching duration sounds like the better fit? Right? 6-month or 3-month? That's just an example. Just want you to hear. So it doesn't feel so scary and clunky. Okay. Let's see here. Page. Oh yeah. Bottom of page 10. So we're going to wrap it up here. Get ready to take some notes. Okay. Client is then going to answer. I guess I already covered some of this. Whatever they say, okay, that's the better option. That's the better option. I want 3 month or I want 6 month. And then you're going to say, that sounds great. Are you ready to get started? Are you ready to do the thing? Write that down. Okay. So if they say yes, you're going to say, that sounds great. Are you ready to get started? And then I want you to immediately get the ball rolling. Write this down. Collect the payment, right? You can use a manual system to collect payment like Stripe. Get them the contract to sign. Schedule their first coaching call with you. Get the ball rolling. Write that down for if they say yes. Okay. They didn't say no. They said yes. Don't let the imposter syndrome tell you to say, send an invoice. They just said yes. If they say they want to think about it, write this down, write this down. Page 10, if they say, I want to think about it, you're going to say, and Ann, we already kind of talked about this. No problem. And I'm going to, again, you're going to get all the scripts once you book your discovery call in the folder. You're going to say, no problem. Let's set up a 10-minute phone call tomorrow after you've had time to think it through. That's your opportunity to ask me any questions that come up for you and to let me know if you'd like to take advantage of the $1,000 off fast acting bonus and to get started with me. So what I want you to write down for if the prospect says they want to think about it. For number 1, I want you to ask if they have any questions about the coaching package after they've had time to think about it on the follow-up call. Okay, so on the follow-up call, let me try to be clear here. Okay. On the follow-up call. So when you have the next call, they're like, I want to think about it. I want to think about it. The follow-up call. Right here, sorry. On the follow-up call. Ask if they have had any questions. That's how you're going to start. What questions do you have for me about the coaching package? You've had some time to think about it. What questions do you have for me? Okay. Then you're going to ask if they'd like to take advantage of the fast acting bonus, $1,000 off in the founder's rate, because that's a good deal. Would you like to take advantage of that rate? Okay. Really important. If they say no, I do not, the answer is no. I would ask, is it a timing issue, right? Well, I'm pregnant. Well, my son's having a wedding. Well, there's a health issue, right? Find out if it's just a timing issue And if you feel like they're a good fit, but it's just not the right time, ask them when they feel they'd be ready for coaching, so you know what date they might potentially work with you in the future. Okay. So ask that question. When do you feel would be a better time to get started? That is a very important question. Okay. And then you can, I would ask, can we stay in touch until that time? Now, I think I skipped one here. If prospect says they want to think about it, let me be clear here. Okay. If they say they want to think about it, uh, yes, if they say they want to think about it, schedule the follow-up call before you get off the complimentary coaching call. If somebody says they want to think about it and you're like, okay, bye. Like, don't do that. Schedule the follow-up before you get off the complimentary coaching call. And then if you have the ability to, number two, if you have the ability to, I would send them an invoice. And I would say in that email, hey, I tell them ahead of time, tell you what, let's schedule a follow-up for tomorrow, same time. And look for an email. I'm going to send you an email. And it's going to have an option for you to pay anytime within that 24-hour window. So you can receive that founder's rate and that $1,000 off bonus. Because sometimes, you guys, and this happens a lot, I've done this before. When I sign up with coaches, sometimes you'll maybe talk to your spouse or talk to your higher power or whatever. And at like 1 a.m., you're like, I'm doing this. Right? So if they're ready to do it, give them the option. Don't make them jump through a million hoops. If you can send them an invoice so they can submit payment to lock in their rate, do it. Send it ahead of time. Okay. All right. Moving to closing tonight's lovely call. Action items. And then I'm going to announce the winner. And action items. First action item, I want y'all to go get your payment processor. If you don't have a payment processor yet, Stripe, I don't know. I mean, PayPal, I like Stripe. I have Stripe. Get a payment processor. You got to have a way to collect money. And then if you're like, girl, I already have a payment processor, then do some of these future action items. These are bonus action items underneath. Okay. Put into the chat which of these action items you're going to start with. Put that into the chat. All right, real quick here, before I announce the winner, one more reminder here before I announce the winner of one of my favorite gifts. Let's see here. Ooh, make you nervous. Here we go. Bootcamp bonus bundle. So my last reminder for you as you go into the weekend, if you're going to book a call, y'all, book the call. Don't sit on the call because you don't want to be one of the last people to join. You want to be one of the first 5. So you get these bonuses. If you're not sure, you're like, I don't know if I want to join, that's okay. We're here to, we want you. Here's the deal. We're looking for people who are serious about building a coaching business, right? That's what we're looking for. But if don't leave this workshop in the gray. Like, I don't know, should I have, shouldn't I have? At minimum, book the call, get some value out of the call. Remember our call agenda. Value, we're going to give you value, resources, and some coaching on whatever issue that you want some help with. We're going to dig into your challenges and your goals. And then 3, we're going to talk through solutions, which is going to including identifying the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And if it makes sense, and only if it makes sense, we're going to share with you package options, because we have more options than this. Package options and pricing options. Okay. So if Heather and Tabitha could put into the chat the link for people to book a discovery call and the link for people to check out the program. Okay, so 1,000 to 3,000 off, 2 60-minute private sessions, full social media profile audit, 30-day Voxer access to me, ticket to a virtual half-a-day cash injection workshop with me, and that's $8,600 worth of bonuses if you book your call by Tuesday and end up joining the program. Okay, that is my reminder. Real quick here, last thing before I announce the winner. And I'm like, where did I just write down the winner? Let's see here. And Tabitha, Tabitha's going to kill me. Can you put into the private chat the name of the winner one more time? I just had that sticky note. I know her first name, but can you give me her full name? Six-figure coaching business success squad. So you guys know you're not hiring a coach, you're hiring a team. Yes, I'll be your coach. Yes, you'll have a success coach holding you accountable and working privately with you. Yes, you'll have a copy coach editing and reviewing all your copy. Yes, you'll have a money mindset coach getting you out of the mindset that's holding you back. Yes, you'll have a peer accountability pod who's going to deepen your mastery of things you're learning and also keeping you accountable. And yes, you're joining in time for our in-person event here in the St. Pete, Tampa area. Six-figure coaching business in a box. This is immediate access. We're not one of these, we're going to drip you the access. You get it all at once. We give you the keys to the kingdom. Your on-demand online learning center. Every module has various lessons. Every lesson has a video and activities and worksheets and resources. You get access to all of that. You even get your own website build, which is where I get excited. But that's an option. You get to choose whether you want to include that or not in your package. Okay, if you have your own website, that's fine. You can just tell us that. We'll remove that. But if you don't, let me tell you something. This is an awesome looking website. I'm not going to go through all this, but every tool you could ever create, because I'm telling you guys, here's what I will say. This is meant to be an all-in-one program. What does that mean? You don't have to go out and buy all this other stuff. Oh, well, I got the business coach, but now I got to buy a website. Now I got to buy a lead magnet. Now I got to buy a copywriter. And now I got to buy, no, it's all in the on-demand learning center. So if you're not getting a program that's all in one, I do want you to understand that you're forgoing either time or money with every item in here. A lead magnet, either you're going to have to take hours to create it, or you're going to have to pay money for someone to create it. An email nurture sequence, hours to create it, or you're going to pay money for someone to create it. So this is, the stuff is the time and the money, right? That's what you're saving by getting an all-in-one. I do work with people in two ways, one-on-one or group. One-on-one does kind of have a 2-for-1 deal. One-on-one clients also get access to all group coaching. And I want to be clear, group coaching, you get all of this. Group coaching, you get all of this. There's one difference between group coaching and one-on-one, and that's more access to me. That's it. But like I said, even with group coaching, we have intimate coaching calls. I am not, welcome into the hundreds of people. And I'm like, where is that one person from my workshop? It's not like that. I don't like running calls like that. Unlimited access to us in between calls. And we talked about what sets us apart. All right. So there's your reminder. Let's get on to it. The winner of tonight's prize is going to be Kelly Ling. Kelly, welcome. And this is going to be your prize, the Full Focus Planner. We congratulate you. Send her some hearts. Kelly, you're awesome. Thank you we saw you popping in and popping out and being able to make it tonight. We're sending you the Full Focus Planner. And let me tell you something. I'm seeing some faces on here that I have a feeling will be joining the program and will be getting their own version of the Full Focus Planner once they join. All right, y'all, go out and have yourselves a wonderful weekend. This is time for you to relax, rejuvenate, and play a little catch up on the replays, catch up on the homework. I will be available off and on. I'm going to the pool for a little bit. Okay. Weather permitting. But if you have any questions or anything, DM me or post in the Facebook group. And then I will see you back here Monday, 7 p.m., which is going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be none of me talking head. It's going to be us, Q&A, back and forth. Come off mute. Tell me your niche. Tell me your challenge. Tell me your struggle. I'm going to coach you through it. All right, y'all. Have a great night and see you Monday. Bye, everyone.